Hey guys, Bill Seamantel here from the BBZtv. We're going to talk about what not to use in fishing lines. A little twist on words, but I get a lot of questions on what kind of knots I use for certain type of lines. And I have 4 basic knots that I've used for years. Now, if you're good at tying knots and you have confidence and you have no problem, this video is not for you. This is for the guys starting out, or they're having problems with certain knots for braids or fluorocarbons, and they're having situations where they're failing or they're slipping or they're just not holding right. I have 4 basic knots. They're simple, they're easy, they're bulletproof, and if you learn how to tie them, you're never going to have a problem. But it does break down to braid knot, a fluorocarbon knot, a monofilament knot, and I have 1 splice knot that you use for top shots. So let's get into it real quick. We'll break it down, and this is just a little tutorial for you guys. If you ever need to go back and look at something on how to tie them, this is easy for you to just click on the BBZtv and check it out. So let's get started, and we'll talk to you about the 4 basic knots that I use for my fishing lines. Okay, real simple, guys. We have the braided lines, we have the fluorocarbons, and we have the monofilament. And I'm going to go through them real quick. The number 1 knot that I use for my braided lines is just called a Uni Knot. You want to go through the eye of your lure twice. You want to bring that line back down the main line. You're going to do a loop and hold it with your fingers, and there's going to be 2 lines right there, and what you're going to do is you're going to wrap 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what you want to do is you want to slide this real nice and easy up so it lays flat up the line. And once you have that knot there, what it does is it just slides down and it locks in position. That's called a Uni Knot. Very simple to tie. I love throwing it on the Spro Frogs. I'll do flipping and pitching with it. I'll actually do some heavy topwater applications with it. What you do is you cut your tag in. I usually leave about 1/8 of an inch of tag on there, and you're ready to rock and roll. And that's the Uni Knot for braided lines. Okay, one of the simplest knots for fluorocarbon that is just bulletproof for me is you actually go through the eye of the bait, bring your line up and grab it about 6 to 8 inches above the lure, and then you want to wrap the lure 7 times around the line, and you'll make a little loop right here. That little loop that you made, you want to make sure you go through that loop with your line, the tag end, grab it, cinch the knot forward to secure it. You're going to wet the line a little bit, and then it's just going to slide right down in place. And that's going to create a really secure knot for fluorocarbons, but it's not going to cut into itself like a Palomar knot. So this is the best knot I've found to use on this situation. Okay, this is my all-time favorite knot for monofilament. If the eye of the bait is big enough, you could just fold the line over on itself, or you just double it through. So I'm going to go through the eye. This is a Palomar knot. Take the line out depending on the size of the lure, and you're going to do 1 overhand knot. Bring the loop through, and as you increase the loop, you slide the bait back through and forward. And here's the trick on this, is when you pinch that line and you start to lock it down until you get to the eye, and then what you want to do is you want to let go and you want to grab the tag end of the monofilament, and that tag end will slide that extra excess of line to the knot, to the eye. When it gets down there, you grab both lines, you secure it, you tighten the tag end, the main line end, and then you trim the excess to your liking. And that is just a standard Palomar knot for monofilaments. So those are the 3 basic knots. Braided line is the Uni Knot. The fluorocarbon is a modified San Diego jam knot. Monofilament is the Palomar knot. And we have 1 more to show you. Now this is the basic double Albright knot. It might be a little hard to see, but I do have other videos up on the BBZtv that show this knot. This is for splicing together braided line with mono or fluorocarbon. Very simple. You take your monofilament or your fluorocarbon, you bend it over on itself, leave about 4 to 5 inch tag, and you create an eye. With that eye, all you do is you bring the braid through the eye, bring about 6 to 7 inch lead on it, tag, and you're going to wrap it up the line. On the thicker lines, I usually go at least 6 wraps up and 6 down. On the thinner lines, I do a minimum of 9. Pinch it, wrap it backwards, and this is called a double Albright. And basically what you're doing is you're just cocooning the leader, the monofilament or the fluorocarbon, in the braid. So there's really no knot, but the braid itself is protecting. Now when you get to this part right here, you just follow which way you went in that loop with, and you follow it right back out with the braid. You moisten it, you start to pull it, get the system tight, let go of both tag ends, and you pull the system together with both the main line and the braid. And basically what you did is you just created the smallest, most secure, it's not a knot, it's just a locking system for a top shot system for braid onto fluorocarbon or monofilament. And then what I usually do is I leave a little bit extra tag in on the back for the braid, and then on the fluorocarbon or monofilament I cut as closely as I can. And that is the smallest, thinnest, strongest attachment for a braid to fluorocarbon knot that I've used for years. I've never had a problem with. And it's very quick and it's very secure. Okay, that was really simple. We have the Uni Knot for the braided lines. We have a modified San Diego jam knot for the fluorocarbons, the standard Palomar for the monofilament, and the double Albright when you do the splices together. I've used these 4 knots for years. I've never had a problem with them. And if you practice them, you're going to be able to do them super quick. They're never going to fail on you, and you're going to start catching a lot more fish. So, appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you next time out on the water.